I probably need two people dead for that, though.
Not
But
necessarily. I mean, you could very easily accomplish this by. So, I mean, the current
challenging.
the current Goatee has already been shamed. So
Twice.
twice. So I think it's very likely that it's really just down between you and Olaf. If you can prove your merit to the people,
Oh,
then you can claim it because the current
I can,
Goatee he's lied publicly and he has just been publicly shamed in his own longhouse. So he's very
I'm,
clearly lost the.
If only
I'm,
Oon the
Hold on.
crone
Let me
here.
interject. I agree and disagree because here's the important part. All you have to do is leverage what Olaf has already done. You don't need
I'm,
to defeat me. You
yeah,
just need to become Goatee. As
I'm
long
sort of
as you either
wondering. Yeah,
convince me to stay out of your way or I'm out of your way, then the hard
I,
part's already done. The Goatee
So
already looks like an ass. He's already breaking the rules. I mean, it's time for a change, right? You just need to convince
I'm,
everybody that that's the right thing.
So here's
I'm.
the other thing is that you currently have your woman Bertie goading you to action, so your ability to stay out of the situation may not be easy.
She's just a woman.
Yeah, but I don't believe her though. That's what my
Yeah,
5 said. I don't trust her. At least I don't heed her advice, right?
Yeah,
I'm sort
you
of
don't have to.
wondering if my battle brother Olaf would su- would support my just outright challenge of the Gola. That he's embarrassed himself in this village too much. He should just.
Well,
He,
if you
he,
had a bond with Olaf, you could spend that bond to look into their heart and ask a
I
question
do.
along those lines.
I do have a bond with him.
Well, as a matter of fact, if you have a bond and you're using that move, and you have
Yeah,
a relationship with him, you can mark that relationship for
I have
those
fought
experience.
alongside Olaf. What do I think? What do I think Olaf would do if I just outright said this man is dishonorable and is dishonoring our village, and he should no
Well, it
longer
has to be
lead.
one of those questions.
Yeah.
And so I think it would be how would I get your character to, and you
How would
fill
I?
in the rest
Yeah.
of that.
How would I get Olaf? How would I get you to support me if I go after the goalie?
Look into your heart, and Olafson answer truthfully.
So your question, can you repeat your question again one more time?
Basically, I'd like to know how I would garner your support for my claim to be the new goalie. Would,
So, fill me in on how changes of power happen in Icelandic society and what would be, regularly
uh,
accepted. Because he's already screwed up twice. I don't know if that's enough or if there's something specific he has to do or
uh,
what.
well, there's a lot of ways he can literally just give power to somebody else or sell it, or it can be taken from him either through by just with a challenge. Either I can say, I challenge you to a duel right here, right now, for this position, and he can say, and he can accept my challenge, and we can fight for it. Or if he's doesn't have it in him, he can just bow down and step down and leave. That's what it's not really all that formal. I mean, he wasn't voted into it. He's
Right.
he's only ruler because he owns this longhouse, and people look up to him, and people aren't looking up to him. So all I really need is for him to leave and make me owner of the house.
I think in Olaf's mind, Olaf knows you have good plans, right? Or at least you have plans. Right? You've proven throughout this session that historically your character would have been one that makes things happen, right? Trying
Mm-hmm.
to make things happen. I think if Olaf knew you wanted to take power, he would want you to win the people. Because I think he's the type of person that leads, right? He just naturally leads. He does it loud and he does it his own way. And he would expect you to do it your own way, which is by convincing people that you should replace him. Now, if you think you should fight him, or if you think somebody else should fight him, or if you think he dies in the middle of the night, that's how it works. But I think he would expect you to have enough people that you would be the first choice, right? He would expect you to have some plan.
So basically, you'd be
And he
happy
would
with
support
me.
that.
You'd be happy with me saying in front of everybody here that this man has dishonored us. This man has dishonored our village. This man does not deserve to rule anymore. Who is and try and sort of basically get everybody to go along with me with the. I don't know if there's any rules to do that other
Oh,
than me
yes,
just
there is.
boasting.
Right. So the only thing that I would say is, are you sure that everyone would pick you? Because what you're saying
I
might all
know.
be true, but why would they pick you? And I think Olaf would stand beside you if, because I don't necessarily, I know you want to talk to him, right? But Olaf's not that bright.
because Balter is a great leader and is great at plans. He
Okay.
he he is an honorable man, and he has spent his time doing the Viking thing and bringing back wealth to the village, and now it's time that he use his experience to lead this village to prosperity.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. And if I knew that you were favored by the fates and that Un had seen these things and that you were perhaps favored, then certainly he would back you.
You don't know that though. You don't.
But I don't know that, and I think that's what I'm trying to get at is that you and I haven't spent a lot of time together. So why I don't know I don't think we have.
I'm
You don't have a
thinking-
plan that involves me, right?
I'm thinking I want to talk to you outside and tell you of my plans, and that say that I'm going to speak with my people and your people.
So
And
I
Is that
think
literally what's happening now then? Because this is
And so
way
that's-
past the bounds of the move. Are
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
like leaning in towards Olafsson and saying like,
Right.
let's talk
I-
outside?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the end of the move is you need to do something more to convince me, but I would if you could convince me. And so knowing that the fates were involved, or knowing that it wasn't
Excellent.
just chaos for chaos and there was a succession, that would be enough.
I'd like to end the move by stepping outside and telling you basically everything I've just said. You know, the fates have shown me that a change is needed. Our Gode is acting dishonorably and stupidly, and if I were to succeed, and all of my decisions would be for the benefit of the village. I'm not a man who drinks and makes a fool of himself and dishonors his men and his village, is what I say to you. You know me. You fought with me.
I have fought with you, Balder, and you have chosen an auspicious time for this event. I will certainly back you. The moon has smiled on us once and will smile on us again. Make your plans. I will stand behind you. But I would warn you. Be careful that the fates are on your side.
They are. I have been told, and of course, because I'm a little bit of a bastard, I'm also going to use the fact that my opponent is currently a little bit drunk to go in and make my move now.
Excellent. Let's do it then. And I feel like we're setting the stage for the vision where Olaf and Balder were back to back in the longhouse and coins showered from the sky.
Exactly.
I feel like this is stage setting for that situation.
I mean, it clearly showed that us together, me leading the village with Olaf at my side, means nothing but prosperity and good fortune for the village. That's clearly
And
how I
this is when
interpret
we
it.
flash back to the Gothi at the beginning of the episode being like, yeah, good fortune's coming.
Yep.
Yep. All right.
And they
let's
lived
do it
happily
then.
ever after.
Come into the longhouse and you do what?
I say, Olaf Ragnarsson, I think you have spoken out of turn too often. You bring the wrath of the gods upon us by di- disobeying the laws of the land. You call out your own men, and then do not even have the stomach to stand by your actions. You called out Olaf and then backed down once it was apparent that you were not the man you claimed to be.
As
I
you
think
say that, a bottle explodes, thrown from his seat next to you, and like the fire catches the alcohol in it, and he stands up and roars and says, "Home Ganga, then we
I
shall walk the
believe
islands together. Only one will return."
I believe that is the only course of action.
And like all the people in the longhouse start banging on the tables, and someone's like, "Oh, Ganga, oh, Ganga," and they take you out to a little island located right here that is just large enough for the two of you to stand on and get some maneuvering around. Now, each of
Excellent.
you receives your armor that you began with, plus 3 shields, and he has way more armor than you because he's a lot richer than you.
Yep.
Hey, can I
Um,
roll a Child of Fate roll at this particular
Oh,
juncture?
fantastic. Sure. Let me ask, what is it that you need there, Unicron?
So if it hasn't become obvious at this point, I don't actually care whether it's Olaf or Baldur who takes
Yeah.
over the seat of power. I just want this guy out. That public shaming has inspired my ire, and so I need a storm to come along and wet the ground, and
Okay.
hinder his actions in his bulky armor, such that the more nimble Baldur would have an advantage over him. I don't know if those actually have things in the rule book for
It
like
won't.
all.
It won't, but I might account for it. There might be some critical moment where
Okay,
the storm may make the difference.
I
At the
well,
very least, it provides a dramatic as fuck
that's true.
backstory.
That's
Yeah.
true. So here we go.
I like the idea of you just being like, I need this to happen, and it happens.
Yep. And then happens.
Okay.
Oh,
So
wow.
why don't you tell me what you do to make this happen as Gurney looks on and is like just paralyzed in fear at whatever it is you're doing, whatever powerful magics you work.
So I bring Gurney to my side and I sit her down next to me,
And
and
you're
I
awful.
say, well, yes, well, we're actually like looking out towards the ocean from our
Oh,
we can
fantastic.
probably see it from here.
Yeah.
And he says, I have seen I have made mistakes with you. I have kept knowledge from you which would have been of use. I shall show you now the power of the Sidkona. And she looks upon the ocean, and her eyes roll back into her head, and a crack of thunder echoes in the distance, and the sky lights up as storm clouds roll in. And by
Out
the
of
time,
nowhere. Yeah.
out of nowhere, and by the time that that Olaf and Olaf, or I guess
I think
Baldur
that
and
crack
Olaf,
of thunder happens like when he says "Home Ganga," and by
yes.
the time they're out there on the island, it's already pouring
Yeah,
rain.
I guess the point of this Child of Fate is that the conditions would favor Baldur, as I need something for him, because, or rather I need something against Olaf, whatever his last name is,
Ragnarsson.
Ragnarsson. Yes.
All right. Well, why don't you roll a physical challenge there, Baldur Odinson, and tell me how you approach this Home Ganga.
Well, especially because of the rain, this is sort of a, hopefully with a better ending, Mountain versus the Snake moment, because he's wearing heavy armor, he's got a shield,
He's got 3
and I'm,
shields actually. Both of you do.
yep, but I don't, I choose to put my first one aside and use my speed and agility and my spear to keep him away from me, try and trip him up in the wet ground and stab at him when he's at a disadvantage. That's my way of fighting. I'm not a very nice and honorable fighter.
Very well.
That is my way. So is that a physical roll?
Yeah, it's accepting a physical challenge. You're rolling plus young.
Okay. And I get a bonus from.
Well, 7 will do it.
You were following. Are you following the advice that was given from your Steve Kona?
Yep, I am following her advice and challenging him.
So let's have a flashback there where she gives you that advice to spend the hold. Wait, no, didn't he use a new one on on?
Well, I didn't get any holds
So,
over.
so I lose the bonds. However, I spent the bond to give him the advice. So I don't know if that plus
Right,
one.
but then you gave new advice to Gurney and Betty, right? Bretta?
Bertie.
Yeah,
Well, I
Bertie.
did not. I attempt to,
Oh, you-
to talk sense, which
Oh,
would
okay, all right, then yeah, that's the hold still applies. So yeah, you can spend one to give him plus one forward for following your advice. Is that something you'd like to do?
yes, I
Yeah.
would.
I love the idea that you're so powerful a witch that you're not even present here. But you saw this in the future, knew it was coming, and gave him just the advice he needed.
Yep.
So what does that bring you up to?
That brings me up to 8. Is there anything I can use that? Can I use the fact that my bond is that I'm trying to take his position?
I don't think so.
So I was gonna ask if on the way down I can talk to my my longboat full of people and tell a story about how this storm is so similar to the storm where I first met Balder, and tell a story about
Very well.
his reputation.
We'll retrograde this. Sure, you're boasting about Balder.
I didn't want to interrupt what they had going on with the storm.
No,
and
this is
everything.
good. This is good. We
Nice.
just we keep having flashbacks over and over. Like the weapon, Balder keeps getting closer and closer to landing the blow, and we just have like flashback.
Well, it's because the conversation happened so nicely, and then I don't want to
Yeah.
interrupt.
No,
you
it's
know?
good. Let's do it. Boast.
So I'm boasting. Oh yeah, with a 9, I think
Okay.
that does well. So
Tempt the fates here.
on a 7 to 9, that person takes a +1, but also tempts the fates. Yep.
Let's see here. They tempt the fates? Okay. Unfortunately, you are gonna have to tempt the fates now.
However,
Oh.
Is it me or is it Balder though?
Balder. It says that
Yeah.
person takes +1 but tempts fate.
but if you accept a physical challenge on a 7 to 9, you can choose to not tempt fate while doing it.
Right, but he's tempting fate for something different. He's
Oh,
tempting
yeah, fair
fate for
enough.
the boasting.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, I'm boasting on his behalf, and so it draws the ire of the fates.
The ire of the fates is upon me.
Very well. Roll poorly.
I roll poorly.
Misfortune strikes.
My bad.
Oh, and this isn't about the fight, right? This
Yeah.
happens before the fight.
Yep.
So you're not going to get the +1. Or you do get the +1 from him, but some misfortune happens. You know what? It doesn't happen immediately. I know what happens. We'll reveal it later.
Excellent.
So you've accepted a physical challenge. You're still at an 8. You haven't been bumped up. So you get to choose 2.
I'm at a 9 now, unless I get a extra bonus from the Saga ground or whatever.
Not quite yet.
Okay, so I'm at a 9. I get to choose 2, and I'm gonna go with the I win bit because
So that will
And-
destroy some of his armor in the process. You don't like immediately win the challenge.
yeah.
But
And I'm not gonna tempt fate while doing it, but I already said that
yeah,
I was literally trying to use his
yep.
disadvantage, so I'm not being super honorable here at the start.
Yeah, excellent.
But that's okay. There's a storm going on. Who can see what's really going on out here?
You take out his shield, and he also takes the hit on his shirt of mail that prevents him from taking damage. And so the fight continues as he picks up his second shield, and he rattles the shield to the sky and says, "Thor is on my side, Balder. Bow before your Gothi. I am still the ruler of this farmstead. You will not take this from me."
Can I interject that a bolt of lightning strikes down behind
Exactly.
Baldur at this point?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's clear whose side Thor is on. You have dishonored this place. Thor is showing his displeasure at your actions.
I
As
think
I
he
make-
unbelts his pants and starts pissing towards you.
Jesus.
And then the fight continues.
I'm
So
gonna
he's
use
literally
the
pissing in the wind in the rain.
Well, I'm going to use the opportunity to get granted to me and stab him in the legs.
Yeah.
That'll be
Rolling
8
plus young.
with so 9. What? That's I still get the other plus 2s.
If your seed Kona wants to be like give you another piece of advice in the past, something like when you see the lightning flash on his shield, make sure to turn left. Something particularly Macbethy.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will give advice. When a man pisses into the wind, the time to strike is nigh.
Oh man, perfect flashback.
God, that's great.
Unfortunately, the boasting +1 has already been spent.
That's not for the entirety. Okay.
That was spent on the last roll.
Okay. So I've got no other bonuses, but that's still a 9.
Okay, you get to pick 2.
Guess which ones I'm picking.
All right, you destroy another of his shields, and now he's like forced. He's almost falling off the island, and like everyone's in their boats or along the shoreline. The storm is picking up. The rain is pelting down hard. His knees are sinking into the mud, and he's just like hiding behind his shield. It looks like he's preparing for one final strike, and he says, "Is this how it will end then, Balder? Will you take from me my title that you have coveted for so long? You
I
are a
belie-
dishonorable coward!"
No, it is you who are dishonorable and have dishonored this village. I may not be the most brave of warriors, but I know what is best for the village, and I will take upon me any dishonor to make sure that the village lives on.
So, you just said you're going to take on any dishonor.
Dishonor.
Are you rolling gendered for your honor being in question here?
Mm,
Or are you going to simply accept the dishonor?
dishonor. I'm gonna just take off my armor
I'm
right
working
there.
on it. I'm working. Just, yeah.
Well, I guess I could roll for it, but I'm sort of already said my piece. Let's find out how Balder himself takes it.
Okay. Oh,
Yep.
fuck.
Yep.
You are dishonored and treated as such.
Yep.
Okay, so people now, like before, people were excited to see this combat, but you've been called out by a man they respect. But here it is, the final blow, the final physical challenge. Can you take out his last shield?
7. Yes,
7.
I can.
Yep, you win. Striking him down and killing him.
I've already said it. I'm okay with not doing it super honorably if it means more prosperity to the village. And of course myself.
So I think we like zoom forward to everyone back inside the longhouse, and Aesgarder is like, "You may lead us now, Baldur, Olafsson, but you are no honorable man. You are no priest either. I do not accept you as Godi. You may direct a farmstead, but none of us," and she like gestures to the rest of Olaf's retinue. She's like, "None of us will follow you. Even
Are you
your
so
own
certain?
men, like Thorfnir, it looks kind of iffy on that."
I suppose I will have to prove myself to you then, given time.
She says, "Oh, you've proven yourself. You have proven yourself to be a coward."
Don't forget a good fighter as well.
She says, "Is that how it is to be then? That any time that your actions are questioned, that we must fire arrows and trade axes? Is this how you
No.
will rule then?"
No, I intend to rule in a manner which provides the most benefit to us. My honor is not what is needed for the prosperity of this village.
And like everyone is just like all the men are like, and Asgarder is like, "You are a coward. You speak words that are against Thor. You speak words that are against all of us. It is you who have dishonored the gods." And then she
No,
storms out of the mead hall.
Remember, honor is everything in Icelandic society. You basically said, "I don't care if I have honor." I guess isn't that like
honor honor is everything, and I haven't quite finished my sentence.
okay? Fair enough. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Remember my name, I say to them, Baldur Odinson. I revere Odin foremost of all, and honor in combat is not the only form of honor. My honor comes from how I rule, and I will show you that under my leadership, great prosperity will befall us all, as Un herself has foretold.
Oh, look at that name drop, calling
Mm.
out. What's interesting is, again, you don't have any real way to convince these guys about that.
No,
You don't have any way to convince them that you're honorable without dueling them.
Nope,
Fantastic.
not really.
So, I think that this is going to be the final scene. Here we go. And I get, again, the vision of, like, Oon the Crone having a dream of this happening as it happens in, like, live simulcast. Olaf, the door to the meat hall slams open once again, and a man dressed in strange clothing with the colors of King Harald the Fair enters, and he says, "I am the Skald Fjebjorn. I speak for the King of Norway and the head of the Vikings. You are all owing taxes." Who is the leader of this pathetic band of piss?
That sounds like a challenge right there.
That sounds like you're calling out my village, I say. We may not be large, but we will of course pay our taxes, as I say with a smile as I look over the congregation.
Says, "You owe tribute to the King of Norway. You may try to run from your debts, but all of you settlers here on this land of piss and cows, well, you are us.
We are what?
Us. You are us."
Really now? Let's see. The night is late. How about you sit down, have a drink. We will discuss this matter in the morning. It has been a long night, a long evening.
Excellent. All right, so I think this is what's going to happen. There's a number of things we need to resolve before the next episode, which include the following. I need right now the Viking rolls from Baldur and Olaf.
Oh yeah.
We resolved the vision of gold falling from the sky, so I think we've resolved every outstanding vision so far. Right? Is there anything I missed?
That sounds. I assume the shadow walking into the lodge was this guy who just
Of course it was.
Of course it was.
And the gold falling was the guy asking for taxes. The bastard.
So many visions, so little time.
Yeah.
All right, so we have Viking rolls.
12.
We're going to be jumping ahead in time. We're going to be jumping to the beginning of winter when you return from your Vikinging next time.
Let's see.
And we'll see what has happened with the events you have set into play this day. It was an auspicious day.
My Vikinging is looking pretty shitty.
my Vikinging goes really, really well. And I managed to bring back 2 handfuls of silver and don't tempt fate.
Excellent.
And of course, excellent, because I need friends and I owe somebody some money. I give him a gift for being by my side and show it, and I'm going to make it quite public that under my leadership, we will all be richly rewarded. This is my honor, as I give the man the gift I promised. See how much money we are making.
Oh, I feel like following through on a promise is a rule, but that's in another game. That's in another Apocalypse World thing where following through on a promise is a thing. Oh man, it might even be another move for Huskarls, right? Let me see.
I don't think so. I don't think I get anything for it, but I'm going to try and use it to try and win people over. If I don't know if there's any actual role or mechanic for it, but that's what I'm doing.
There doesn't have to be.
Yep,
Excellent.
That's just what I'm doing. I'm
so what
trying
happened,
to use all this money to get people on my side.
What happened with Olaf Olafsson in your a Viking role?
She rolled a 6.
Oh, misfortune struck you while you were there, I see. You came back with a dissatisfied crew, an unsafe ship, and you didn't bring back any silver.
Womp womp.
Yeah, I thought that the Sikona said that the two of you would come back with great riches, but apparently she was only talking about one of you.
I said that working together you would prosper. I didn't see much
true.
working.
One of them did prosper quite well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And see how much money I'm bringing in. See, you should
That's
totally
the thing about
follow
visions.
me.
They don't necessarily play out the way the words are spoken.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Remember the metaphorical blood drawn as he fell back into his seat?
Yep.
Oh, this is so good. All right, I really enjoyed this, by the way. It was a little hard juggling all the different parts to make sure everything
So much
happened.
thing going on. Yeah.
That was well played.
Okay, all right. So, I'd like to spend the last couple minutes here discussing what you guys think of the system so far, before we move into, next episode. We begin with the land of ice in Iceland. So, what are your thoughts so far with the way events have played out?
I am enjoying myself immensely.
Yeah, me too. I particularly like games where the dice tell the story, so this caters directly into my wheelhouse for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm definitely kind of enjoying kind of the relationships you can build. I like picking what I want to do and then figuring out how, like, within the context of the game and what I bring to the table, how I can get it to go. Because I don't know if you noticed, but this entire game for me was all about screwing over Olaf Ragnarson.
Yeah,
That was
I
it.
noticed.
Yeah.
No, that was pretty
it.
big in my...
Yep,
You also seem to be going pretty hard against what was his name? Olaf Ragnarsson. Yeah.
Olaf the goatee of the village. Like,
Yeah,
after
backhanded
he
you.
got
he
got what he
backhanded me in
deserved.
public, and I took it upon myself to end him.
Yeah, there's been a lot of grudge matches.
Yeah, well, yes and no.
About
Like,
Iceland.
I already told Arthur my entire goal for the first part would be to try and usurp the Goda's position. So I'm pretty happy.
So let me see if you can actually shift your playbook as a Huskarl.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
If you start working on gaining new relationships, you can take the advance that allows you to pick a Godi rule.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. I had a relationship with a Gode. Is that I want something of theirs? Do I?
You can at the
Yeah,
end. Of
you made a number of moves toward him, so yes, you can mark that relationship, even though he's dead now.
So
Yeah,
do we keep
because-
these relationships between play sessions?
Yes.
Or okay, so
So, as you might note from the common moves, there is a start of session. You can change the relationship to write a new name in instead of the old one, or change the nature. So the
Right.
examples they give is, instead of writing "I don't trust Greta," you write "I don't trust Olaf."
yeah,
Or you change "I don't trust Olaf" to "Olaf is my trusted ally."
yeah.
All right, because I'm now going to have to change Olaf Ragnarsson. I want something of theirs to something entirely different because he's dead. So do I need to covet something from somebody else, or do I just get to
No,
pick?
I mean that relationship is still there. He's just dead.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you
I
can
need
you can change the object of your relationship.
Yeah, you just change the object to somebody else. So instead of it being him, you change it to someone else. but it's still checkmarked because you completed that relationship. And so once you have
okay.
because you only guys only have 4 now, you get 4 checks. But if you had more than 4, you still only need 4 checks in order to advance. And
Okay.
as Uscarl, once you have those 4 checks, you can take a move from Godi or any male playbook. But it sounds like you really want to be the Boshi.
I am trying to move up the Gore, but clearly I still need to do a little bit more to earn everybody's trust.
Yeah, you need to probably spend some more time. Did you make any rolls with Olaf Olafsson? I think.
That's
All right,
what I was gonna
so
ask
let's do some
when we were
checkmark
outside.
You, Olaf Olafsson, you definitely made rolls toward Baldur and Olaf Olafsson Jr. Did you make any rolls involving Bertie Halldaughter?
Well, she made one against me, right? I
That
made.
doesn't count.
Well, no, I made the whatever I rolled the 5
Oh
on, whether or
yeah,
not
that's
to
true.
believe her,
You did make a move. Okay.
and
So
it
now
failed.
all you need to level up is to find your good friend Heidi Holbeatson.
Yep.
Who knows
Yeah.
where that shifty character is? He's
Right.
on the run for smuggling.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
I need to resolve meeting up with
Laura and Simander.
Yep. That's I'm going to need to do that. But I think that'll be a good way for me to try to win the people over. So let's show them I'm a
Get married.
good man. Get married and settle down, and that'll involve marrying Laura. Which
You've got lots of money, and you're now a relatively high-ranking man.
Yep.
So-
and
I feel like that great for the winner would be to have Heidi, Thora, and the 2 siblings is going to be the winter scene for them. That's what we're going to be opening with next time. I think probably Thora, Laura, and Samander all live on the same farmstead down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would
Excellent.
make a nice little rivalry set.
Yep.
Because as we know, Un and Thora are not very close.
No.
Right.
They are
So I
enemies.
think for my relationship with oops, I just lost his name. Heidi
Holbeatson.
Holdbasin. I think after coming back from such a miserable Viking, I'm going to talk to Baldur and see if he's interested in sort of
We'll resolve that at the beginning of the next session.
right, to see
Okay,
if he's
alright.
interested in an illicit relationship with a smuggler as some potential income for the village.
But he
Oh,
was wrongly accused of smuggling.
Right, exactly.
So you
Yeah.
want to
You
turn
wanna
his
make-
crime into a real thing. You want him to actually become a smuggler.
No,
Okay.
no, I mean he's clearly on the run. I want to see if we can, make use of that relationship.
Oh.
Because I don't trust him, right? He's the person that I would not trust with a
With
weapon.
a weapon, of course.
He's not trustworthy,
but he's
but
a good friend.
right. Well, he's a friend that I knew a long time ago. So I'd like to try and establish a relationship between Haiti and Baldur.
Interesting. All right, cool.
I like it.
So, next time, if the players survive the winter, they
Yeah.
will gain in advance. Let's see. Oh no, they can pick one of the following options. Should they survive a winter in Iceland, they can gain an additional relationship, change their role, create a new character to play, or rewrite and retire the character from play.
All right. So if I survive the winter, I can automatically become a queen.
Right. You would keep any of the moves that you already picked, I think, and then pick new moves.
Okay. Cool.
Or not. I'll have to look it up. I think you might have to. Oh, it says you add one of the following options to the advancement list, so you wouldn't immediately be able to come that.
Okay.
All right. It would open it up as an option. Either way, we'll get things done. Thank you for
Yeah.
joining us tonight, guys.
Yep.
I enjoyed the first episode of Saga of the Icelanders. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, hopefully with 100% less thunderstorms. In real life, 100% more thunderstorms in game.
Oh yeah. And we're
Yep.
gonna have to.
Yeah.
I can't wait to reveal what misfortune has struck Baldur Odinson as a result of this poor bargain of boasting that Olaf Olafsson made on his behalf.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Have a good
Let's
night,
find
everyone.
out.